This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so let's quickly review actually what we have done till now. Yeah, let's keep this as the base. Let's keep reviewing this copy. Yeah,
Okay, sir.
I hope you are able to see my screens, right?
Right, sir.
Okay, so as a part of your course, what we have done till now. Okay, introduction is done, of course. Yeah, and then as a part of the organizational structure, we are done with the configuration of. Um, we are done with the configuration of org units, jobs, positions, work centers, as well as tasks. Yeah, and then I
Yes, sir.
think we also discussed about plan version, right? Yeah,
Plan was not completed, right?
plan
It
version is
got
also
completed.
done. Okay, okay.
Yes.
So let's say I'm done with the entire org management.
Sorry?
I'm done with
Organizing.
the entire org management is done, right?
Yes, sir. It
Okay.
got completed.
Now let me quickly review. Let me log into the system and see. You know.
Yes, okay, Lord.
Now, now, SPRO reference IMG, reference IMG, and then we have personal management,
Right.
then global settings in personal management, plan version. So I think we have configured the plan version. Yeah, I think we have configured the
Yes,
plan
sir.
version, and then yeah, and then did we also discuss about the importance of transport request? Do you remember that? What exactly is a transport request and
Transport.
all? Did we discuss about the
Yes, sir.
varieties of servers and clients in SAP? The development server, the quality server, and the production server. Did we discuss about that?
Actually, last class we discussed about the transport request, sir. Servers
Correct.
and client. Yeah.
We discussed about that.
Yes, sir. Regarding servers and clients.
We discussed. Okay. So that means we have understood what the concept of a transport request and why the transport request is generated and what is the purpose of the transport request as well. Yeah. What is the
Right,
purpose of
sir.
the transport request as well? And then did I also discuss, did I also say about the varieties of consultants in SAP, the functional guys, the techno-functional guys, and all the stuff? I think I remember vaguely about that.
Technical consultants, right? Uh,
Yeah, we discussed, right? So all
right,
those
sir. Right.
guys, yeah. So that means I'm actually done with the organizational management part of it. Yeah, the organization is completely done. Now let's get into the personal administration. Yeah, let's get into the personal administration related configurations. Now, what exactly is personal administration? So personal administration basically, you know, we talk about the administrative activities related to HR. Those are the things that are executed in personal administration activity or function in human resources. Yeah. So what are the administrative related activities in HR? The administrative related activities can be like you're hiring an employee. Yeah, hiring an employee. Now, as a part of recruitment, the recruitment process ends once we roll out the offer to the prospective employee. Yeah, once we roll out the offer, the recruitment process ends. And keeping the offer on hand, the candidate will come to join the company. Okay. And when the
Okay.
candidate comes to join the company or when the prospective employee comes to join the company, the hiring process begins. Yeah, the hiring process
Right.
begins. So with the hiring process, the personal administration the personal administration related activities will start. Yeah, with the hiring of
Okay.
an employee. With the hiring of an employee. So what happens when the hiring process is going on? So the employee is given few documents or few forms to fill in, right? Few forms
Okay.
to fill in. When you go to a company, new company to join, they give you initially some forms to fill in. You're going to give your first name, middle name, last name, personal credentials, previous
Right.
employment credentials, education credentials, your family details, and all the stuff. Yeah, or you are given a bunch of forms, and it's really nightmare, and it's kind of tough task to fill all those forms by giving repetitive information in different forms. Yeah, so
Right, sir.
so after we fill in the forms, the executives will feed this entire information into their software system. It might be an SAP system or non-SAP system or whatever it is. Yeah. So they
Right.
execute the hiring action. They initiate the hiring process in their software system, whichever they are using. So this is going to be the first step in the personal administration department related activities. Yeah. So by hiring an employee, by way of hiring an employee, the employee's master data, yeah, master data is collected. Yeah, master data is collected.
Collected.
So this master data will be like your personal details, then previous employment details, education details, family members details, and all. So this entire master data is collected and captured in the software system. So this is going to be the first step. Then,
Okay.
apart from by way of collecting their master data, we also capture the information pertaining to the shift in which the employee is expected to work. Is it the general shift
Right.
or is it, a rotating shift? That means if an
Right.
employee is working in HR or finance department, yeah, it is going to be general shift. Yeah. If an employee is working in the production division or production department, yeah, then it's gonna be like rotating shift. There's a possibility that the shift might be a rotating shift. If at all the production division is expected to work 24 by 7, yeah, is expected to function 24 by 7, then the employees are also expected to work in different shifts. Yeah, different
Rotating
shifts.
shift. Right.
Then if an employee is working in a sales department or sales division, then if at all they are also into international sales, yeah, by chance, then obviously the sales guys also are expected to work in different shifts. So by way
Right.
of hiring an employee, by way of capturing the employee master data, we will also going to capture the shifts, yeah, in which the employee is expected to work. That is also
Okay.
nothing but the work schedule. That is also called as work schedule.
Okay.
Then, what are the payment details, salary details also have to be captured. Yeah, salary details also
Right.
have to be captured. What is the basic pay of the employee? What are the allowances that are going to be paid to the employee from time to time? Yeah, and then
Okay.
what are the deductions, regular deductions, that are to be made from employee's salary? Even the salary related information also has to be captured while hiring an employee, right? While hiring an employee.
Yes, sir.
Then the employment related details. Employment related details in the sense whether the employee is a permanent employee or a contractor, yeah, or a contractor, or a trainee, whether
Okay.
the employee's salary has to be paid on a weekly basis or on a bi-weekly basis or semi-monthly
Okay.
basis or on a monthly basis. Even that information has to be captured while hiring an employee.
Okay.
While hiring an employee, even that information has to be captured. After this, what are the benefits into which the employee got enrolled? What are all the
Benefit.
benefits or benefit plans into which the employee has to be enrolled? Even this information has to be captured while hiring an employee. So by way of capture, by way of hiring an employee, the HR related, the personal administration related, guys or users,
Right.
they are going to capture whole lot of information about an employee. about an employee, because based on all this information only, the time evaluation will be performed and the payroll run will be executed for the employees based on all this information that will be captured, right? So this is the first and foremost activity in personal administration department. Then, so once the employee starts working, there are different activities again. Like for instance, the employee's transfer, yeah, or there is a change of position, yeah, change of position, or let's say change of pay, yeah, pay change, yeah, or there is different, there is master data related changes, yeah, master
Okay.
data changes, like change of address, change of family members information. Let's say an employee gets married. So the new family member information has to be, captured into the system. Then there is a childbirth in the family, or there is a death of a family member, or there is an adoption, or varieties of things. So
Okay.
all this information has to be captured. The new information has to be fed in. The old information has to be, delimited, or the old information has to be, what do you call, end date has to be given to the old information. All this master data related maintenance activities also will be taken care by the personal administration department. Yeah,
Okay.
personal administration department. And then we also have the termination, you know, actions or the termination procedures that have to be executed. So all these things are taken care by the personal administration related department. Yeah, personal administration related department.
So what is sixth one? Termination, right?
Termination of the employees.
Okay.
Termination, or whenever the employees want to leave the company, the employees have to be terminated, from the services. So
Oh,
So that is also a part of the personal administration department. Personal administration department.
department.
So in SAP HR, of course, we have a separate submodule called as personal administration. And in this personal administration submodule, we do all the configurations pertaining to personal administration related activities. Yeah, we do all the configurations related to the personal administration related activities. And the first and foremost concept in personal administration is creation of enterprise structure and personal structure. Yeah, creation of enterprise structure and personal structure. So what is this enterprise structure? Yeah, enterprise structure.
Okay.
The administrative structure of the company. The administrative structure of the company is depicted in the SAP system using enterprise structure. The administrative structure. Now, what is this administrative structure? We have already defined organizational structure, right? So,
Right.
organizational structure is the physical structure of the company. Yeah, we're using the
Right.
organizational structure. We depict the physical structure of the company, whereas there is a different structure called as administrative structure also. Yeah, there's a different structure called administrative structure, using which the company is going to employ, or the company is going to deploy the policies and procedures and all this stuff. Yeah, so this is different than the physical structure. Now, what is the importance of this administrative structure? Now, as per the example what we are seeing, yeah, we have the operations in two different locations, Atlanta, yeah, and then Dallas. Yeah, Dallas. Okay, now let us consider holiday calendar. Yeah, holiday calendar. Now there might be certain holidays which are pretty much local to Atlanta. Yeah, and there might be certain holidays which are pretty much local to Dallas. So the holidays that are given to the employees working in Atlanta, the same holidays cannot be given to the employees working in Dallas.
Dollars.
For example, if you consider Indian scenario itself, India is it's a vastly diverse country, huge country and all. So let's say there are certain holidays that are given to employees working in Punjab. Yeah, Punjab. Let's say. So they have certain local holidays like Lodi and all the stuff. The same holidays cannot be given to employees working in Kerala, right? Assuming that the company has operations in pan India, yeah, the
Right.
same holidays
Right.
cannot be offered to employees working in Kerala. In Kerala, they have certain local holidays like Onam and all this stuff. So the same holidays cannot be, and there might be so many holidays which even we haven't heard of actually, which would be known only to the guys living in Kerala. So what happens is in such a scenario, at least two holiday calendars have to be configured. Holiday calendar 1 and holiday calendar 2, right? Holiday calendar 2. So this is one difference, with respect to the administration, administrative structure. Yeah. Then let's consider uh, benefit plans. Yeah, benefit plans. US, in US specifically, there are a whole lot of benefit providers and there are a whole lot of benefit plans that are offered to the employees actually, that are offered to the employees. For a couple of customers with whom I have worked in the past, for one of the customers, there were about more than 80 plus benefit plans that were offered to employees. Yeah, different plans, different varieties of employees. Let's say there are guys who are, in the managerial cadre. For them, there were certain benefit plans which were applicable. Let's say there are executives, employees, shop floor workers, yeah, management consultants, different varieties of employees. So different varieties of employees have had different benefit plans that were applicable to them. Yeah. So how do we differentiate? There should be a method to differentiate, right? So we differentiate using the administrative structure. The administrative structure. Now, the benefit plan costs will vary based on the state, based on the taxation in that particular state. Let's say there's a benefit plan called as Mediclaim. If it costs $100 in Atlanta, the same plan for the same varieties of dependent coverage option, the plan might cost $110 in Dallas. So how do we differentiate? How do we implement all these varieties of, procedures or varieties of policies? We implement all this using the administrative structure. Using the administrative structure. Then we have taxation, taxes. Yeah. In US specifically, in US, each and every state has a different, tax rates and tax slabs and all this stuff. They have the residence tax, they have the work tax, and varieties of things. Let's say there's an employee working, living in New Jersey. Yeah, New Jersey. Um, so, but the employee is working in New York, living in New Jersey, they are working in New York. So the residence tax, the employee has to pay that of the New Jersey, and the work tax, the employee has to pay that of the New York, that of the New York. So that way, that the tax related things also will be different in different locations, different locations. So like this, if you go on counting, there are varieties of things that will vary based on the location. So in order to implement all these things, we have to define a separate administrative structure. We have to define a separate administrative structure, yeah, which we depict using the enterprise structure, which we depict using enterprise structure. Now, what are the components of an enterprise structure? The component of the enterprise structure are personal areas and personal subareas. Yeah, personal areas and personal subareas. These are the components of enterprise structure with respect to HR. With respect to HR. Now, personal areas are the administrative divisions in the company. Yeah, personal areas are the administrative divisions in the company. Now, with respect to the example what we are seeing, let me define the personal areas as Atlanta and Dallas. Yeah,
Personal areas also they consider like
yeah, sorry, personal areas. What
personal
is that?
areas means personal areas means
Administrative administrative divisions in the company.
administrative.
Administrative divisions in the company. Personal areas are administrative divisions in the company. So, as a SAP best practice, we define locations as the personal areas. We define most of the times we define locations as the personal areas. And personal sub areas are further divisions to personal areas. Personal sub areas are further divisions to the personal areas. And with respect to the example what we are seeing right now, the personal sub areas can be, yeah, the personal sub areas can be finance and production, and then HR and sales. This can be the personal sub areas. This can be the personal sub areas. Of course, the way it looks, here it matches with the organizational structure that we have defined. But with respect to the configurations, of personal admin, time, payroll, benefits, configuration wise, these are different. These are different. So we have to call them as personal areas and personal sub areas moving forward. Yeah, moving forward. Now, let us go ahead and set up the enterprise structure, the SAP system. Enterprise structure in the SAP system. So the moment you say enterprise structure, you need to remember that it is the administrative structure in the company. That is what you need to remember. Yeah, that is what you need to remember. So if you want to create the personal areas and sub areas, SPR reference IMG enterprise structure definition human resources management we have personal areas double click on personal areas and this is the table where we configure personal areas. This is a table where we configure personal areas. So if you click on table view and say print, you will be able to see the table name T500P. Yeah, T500P. Now, if you want to access this table, there is also another method. Yeah, there is also another method. I think I've discussed about it maybe. There's a transaction code called SM30. Please make a note of it. There's a transaction code called SM30, and B_T500P, or let's say T500P. So this way also you can get into this table. Yeah. Now, if you want to remember the navigation path and go through the navigation path, this is fine. This is one of the methods. But if you say that you can't remember the navigation path, yeah, I'm better remembering table names, then you have to go to SM30 and give the table name. Okay, the choice is yours. And I always like the navigation path. So I always remember using the navigation path. That is my main method of remembering things. Okay. So I'm bad at remembering table names, to be frank. And there are few table names which we have to remember, and I'll tell you which are those table names. Yeah. specifically. Now, execute the node personal areas.
Please
Double click on personal areas. Double click on personal areas and click on new entries. I want to set up a new personal area. Click on new entries. Now it's going to be what is the example is VAI Atlanta. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a 4-character code. Okay, that I'm giving. Okay, and this 4-character code can be alphanumeric. Yeah, it can be number, it can be alphabet, or it can be combination of a number and alphabet. Yeah, so VAS INC, yeah, Atlanta. Yeah, here also, whenever we give names, we have to give some meaningful names which we can remember always moving forward. Yeah, whenever we give names. Now, VASINC Atlanta. Save it. And the other information that we can give here is that of the house number, street, PO box, postal code, city, and all this stuff. This is not mandatory though, but then the client or the customer insists we have to give it for the reports. For pulling some reports and all, they might ask us to maintain this information. Then we'll have to maintain. Otherwise, it is not mandatory. Save. Save. When you hit on save, you see another dialog box. And in this particular dialog box, there is only one mandatory field, that is country key. Country key. Click on the drop down. You can see the country key of this as US. If you scroll down, you'll be able to see US here. Somewhere. Here we have. Okay. Now, the rest of the information is not mandatory because there is no mandatory field indication here. That is, there will be a checkbox with a tick mark. We don't have that, so we don't have to do it. Click on continue. You see a transport request generated. Done. We are done with the setup of Atlanta. Then click on new entries. Click on new entries. Now VAI Dallas. Yeah, VASINC Dallas. Yeah, Dallas. There is a second personal area that we are setting up with respect to the example we are seeing. So like this, of course, setting up of the enterprise structure with respect to the configuration is very easy. It's very easy. It's a simple child's play. That's all. Couple of trivial entries. But then during the blueprint phase, deciding how many personal areas you want, actually, that is crucial. That is crucial. Now, enterprise structure is like the foundation. Whenever you want to construct a building, you have to, define the. You have to construct the foundation first of all. Based on the home plan, you are going to define the foundation. Where is going to be your living room? Where is going to be your, kitchen? All the stuff. We are going to, define on the paper first of all. After defining on the paper, we need to get the, plan, the blueprint. The plan approved by the municipality or the local authorities, whatever it is, right? So that plan is going to be the basis for how you are going to construct your house moving forward. How your house is going to shape up depends on the plan, depends on the blueprint. So this enterprise structure is like your blueprint. Yeah, it's like the foundation. It's like the foundation. So based on how many personal areas you are defining, based on how many personal sub areas you are defining, your entire configurations in personal administration, time management, payroll and benefits will depend. Yeah. All your
Okay.
configurations moving forward in entire SAP HR will depend on your enterprise structure. Now, navigate back, close. Personal sub-areas.
Right.
Double click on personal sub-areas. Now, under which personal area you want to configure the personal sub-area, you can hit on F4 or you can hit on the drop-down, and the system
Yeah.
will show you all the personal areas that have been set up. So ours is like VASINC Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Click on continue, click on new entries. Yeah. Now it's going to be VASINC Atlanta and finance. Yeah, finance. So it's going to be VASINC Atlanta finance or just finance is also okay. Yeah, finance. Then it's going to be VASINC Atlanta production. Yeah, production. Yeah, product. Saved. These are the two personal sub-areas. These are the two personal sub-areas under the personal area called as Atlanta. Then double click on the personal sub-areas once again, and then this time it's going to be Dallas. Yeah, it's going to be Dallas. So under Dallas, click on new entries. Now it's going to be VASINC Dallas HR. And then VASINC Dallas, you have sales. Yeah, save it. Now get back and further back. Now, with respect to the enterprise structure itself, we have another component called company code. We also have another component called as company code. Company code. And this company code is configured by FICO consultants. This company code is configured by FICO consultants. And they configure the number of company codes based on the finance business process. Yeah, they configure the number of company codes based on the finance business process. Let us say, as per the finance business process, they need 2 company codes. Then they'll create 2 company codes. If they need 3, they are going to create 3. And we need to create the personal areas and personal sub areas under each company code. We need to configure the personal areas and sub areas under each company code. Now, where do we identify this company code? Because it is configured by FICO guys, right? So where do we identify it? So in the enterprise structure, in the definition node, we have financial accounting, and in financial accounting, you have edit, copy, delete, check company code. Edit, copy, delete, check company code, and double click on edit company code data. Double click on edit company code data, and in the training systems we usually find a company code called as 3000.
Okay.
The training systems we usually find a company code called 3000, and this is the company code that we use for our configurations, because this is something which has to be set up by the FICO consultants, right? So we are going to use the company code that is already existing in the training system. Yeah, and we use 3000 company code called as 3000 for our configuration. Now we need to assign this company code to the personal areas. Yeah, we need to assign the company code to the personal areas. So in the enterprise structure and assignment, we have human resources management. We have human resources management, and here you have a node called assignment of personal area to company code. Assignment of personal area to company code. Execute this node and identify the personal area that we have set up. So it's going to be VSI Atlanta. This is the one, right?
Right.
So
The last.
hang on. Did we already configure personal areas and sub areas?
Sir, what's that?
Did we already configure personal areas and sub areas?
Yes, sir. I think we did.
Huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Means, hello.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Sir.
Then why didn't you
Means
tell
sub-area.
me?
No, sir, actually, we just started and that's it, sir. Personal
We have
sub-areas we didn't complete it.
You see, I think we have done all this. You see, I see another
No,
structure here, VSINC Atlanta, VSINC Dallas. You see, you have
no,
completed,
sir.
right? You should have told me.
One second. Sir, actually, we didn't complete it completely. Like, you just gave entertainment structure company and company editing. Sir, on that day means on I think on 4th or something.
Mhm.
You just explain me regarding this. That's it.
Mhm.
Edit, copy, delete the company. The company code is an organization unit is in account. It is used to structure the organization. I don't know when you created this.
So you see, VSINC Atlanta and Dallas, both of them are here, and the company code
Right,
is
right,
also assigned, and recruitment is
right,
also
right.
there. That means we have finished all
Yeah.
this. All right, that's okay. So let me check. We have done with the person structure also.
Yeah.
See, BSI permanent contract. We are done with this.
Yes, sir.
Personal structure is also completed. Yeah. And then assignment also completed. And then
So can we get the date on which day we have got completed this?
personal
Is there any?
structure. Hang on.
Yeah.
That we can't see in the system, but then
Okay.
maybe in the recordings you can see that.
Okay.
See, we are done with this also. Personal structure is also completed. Yeah. Personal structure is also completed. VSI is our example, right?
Right, sir. Yes, sir.
We are done with the activity status, employment status, and training status. Yeah, this is done. Yeah.
Right.
And then control record. Let's see payroll areas. Payroll areas. See, payroll is also completed. Set up of the payroll areas. Yeah.
But actually, our code, I think it's VAS. I think.
Hmm? No,
I
VSI.
think VSI is our
VSI.
code.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, fine.
Do something. Do something. Review all the recordings. Whatever we have. Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Whatever we
okay,
have.
cool.
Yeah. And then see, maybe I'm wrong. No, maybe I'm wrong. VS. Uh, oh, VS might not be our example. It might be
Yes, sir, that's
someone
what I'm
else's.
saying. VAS is ours.
VS is our example, right? Okay. Maybe
Right,
VS
sir,
might be
right.
somebody
Because
else's. Right. Okay, I'll make a note of it. And this syllabus copy, we are going to follow
okay,
it. Yeah, we'll just make a note of it there. VS is someone else's, I guess. Yeah,
right, right. That's what I'm saying. Right.
some other
We are
participant.
going to VAS.
Yeah. So I'm sorry about that. So it is
Yeah.
not confused. So assignment of personal area to company code. Yeah, company code, and then VSIA. Right. So here we need to assign the company code, yeah, and the country
Okay.
group. There are two fields that we need to assign here. The first one is the company code, that is 3000, yeah, and the country grouping for US is STEP. US is
Okay.
STEP. If you click on the drop down here, if you want to click on the drop down, you can hit on F4, yeah, F4, or you can also click on the drop down that you are seeing here, any one of these. So here you will be
Okay.
able to see all the country groupings, all the country groupings. So because this is a
Okay.
German related software, they have given a country grouping called as 01 for their
Okay.
country.
For US,
Yeah,
country.
followed by a few of the European countries,
Countries, right.
and then came US. Then came
Okay.
US. Okay, so SAP is a
Okay.
German software actually. SAP is
That's
a
it, right.
German software. So you can use. You have to assign 10 countries. 10.
Okay.
And then if you navigate a little up, you'll also see Atlanta, so 3000, and then 10. Yeah?
Okay.
10. Save it. Control S.
Okay.
Yeah? Control S. And then navigate. So with respect to this is the end-to-end configuration of the enterprise structure. This is the end-to-end configuration of enterprise structure. So as a part of it, first of all, we have configured the personal areas. Yeah. First of all, we have configured the personal areas. Then we have assigned the personal sub areas to the personal areas. Yeah. Personal sub areas. And after this, we have assigned the company code. We have assigned the company code.
Come.
So we have set up the entire link between the personal areas, personal sub areas, and then the company code. And then the company code.
Company code.
Now, now, there are certain rules that we need to follow, yeah, while creating the enterprise structure with respect to the customer's business process, which we need to remember. There are certain rules. Now, let us say that there is only one location in which the customer has operations. Let's
Okay.
say there is no Dallas. Let's say there is no Dallas. Okay.
Okay.
Then what happens is the company code is of course mandatory. Yeah, mandatory. Then we are going to set up only one personal area. Yeah, one personal area. and then we can assign the personal sub-areas under the personal area. This structure is also valid. This structure is also valid. Only one company code, yeah. Only one personal area, and multiple personal sub-areas under one personal area is also valid, yeah. But it is mandatory to have at least one personal sub-area under each personal area. It is mandatory to have at least one personal sub-area under each personal area. This is the first condition. One company code, one personal area, one personal sub-area is valid structure. Valid structure. One company code, yeah, multiple personal areas, yeah, and under each personal area, multiple personal sub-areas is also valid. Just like this. One company code, two personal areas, and two personal sub-areas under each personal area. This is also valid. This is also valid. Then multiple company codes. Company code 1, company code 2. Let's say company code 1, yeah, company code 2. Company code 2. This is also valid. Under company code 1, we have one personal area and two personal sub-areas. This is also valid. Under company code 2, we have one personal area, two personal sub-areas. This is also valid. This is also valid. And under multiple company codes, having multiple sets of personal areas and sub-areas, this is also valid. This is also valid. It all depends on how many company codes the FICO consultants have created. That will be the basis for us to create the personal areas and sub-areas. For a particular customer, if there are 10 company codes that have been set up, then under each company code, we have to create set of personal areas and sub-areas. Set of personal areas and sub-areas. Right. Let's consider a client based out of India. Based out of India. Let's consider that they have operations in Telangana, they have operations in AP, yeah, they have operations in Tamil Nadu, they have operations in Kerala, yeah, Karnataka, they have operations in Kerala. Let's assume. Yeah. So the FICO consultants, as per their sales or their finance business process, they might create company codes for each state based on the taxation, sales tax, and all this. Yeah.
Okay.
Company code 3, company code 4, company code 5. Then as a HR, so what they do is they simply say that, okay, these are the company codes that we have created. That is what the information we receive. So after seeing this, what we need to do is we need to set up enterprise structure under each company code. We need to set up the enterprise structure, that is set of personal areas and sub areas under each company code. So under the company code C1, let us say they have operations in Hyderabad, yeah, Hyderabad, and then they have operations in Karimnagar, let's say, or Warangal, let's say Warangal, yeah, Warangal. And under AP, let's say they have operations in 3 different cities or 4 different cities. In Tamil Nadu, let's say they have operations in 10 cities. Yeah. So like that, under each state, they have operations in different cities. So each of the city has to be defined as a personal area. And the departments that are present have to be defined as personal sub-areas. Personal sub-areas. So if they have operations in two cities, 2 personal areas. Under each city, we have to set up under each personal area, we have to set up the personal sub areas. This is also a valid enterprise structure. This is also a valid enterprise structure. The only condition is based on the number of company codes, we have to create the sets of personal areas and sub areas. If one company code, then under that one company code only, we have to create multiple, we have to accommodate all the personal areas and sub areas. If there are two company codes, we have to accommodate the required personal areas and sub areas under the two company codes. Right?
Okay.
So configuration of the company codes is the job of the FICO consultants. Now let's say there's a company which has operations in two countries, US and Canada. In this case, it is mandatory to have at least two company codes because the countries are different. If the countries themselves are different, there are a whole lot of varieties, there are a whole lot of variations, right from the currency to the tax systems, to the benefits, to the statutory leaves or holidays, salary components, everything is going to vary. So even the finance business process is also going to be vary. There will be a lot of variations right from the sales tax, export import tax, varieties of taxes, right? So it's mandatory to have at least two company codes if the operations are there in two different countries. Okay, at least.
Right.
And of course, multiple company codes under each country is also possible. So it is a lookout of the FICO consultants to create the company codes. But once we receive the company codes, we need to identify and we need to design the sets of personal areas and sub areas that we have to configure under each company code, right? And one mandatory thing is there should be at least one personal sub area under each personal area. This is mandatory. This is mandatory. Irrespective of the number of company codes and personal areas you have, configuring at least one personal sub area under each personal area is mandatory. All right, it's mandatory. So this is how we configure the enterprise structure. Enterprise structure. So with respect to the personal administration, we are done with enterprise structure. Right. I'll stop here for now. And in tomorrow's session, we'll discuss about personal structure. Yeah? So please go ahead and practice. Yeah, practice a lot. And it's practice that is going to take you a long way.
Yes, sir. Okay.
And then possibly I can give you a lot of tips and tricks as to how to get a job after the course.
Okay.
That is the next step.
Okay.
But
sure. Okay.
For that, you have to be deserving first of all.
Right.
Before you desire a job, you should be deserving. So,
right.
So be deserving, then you will definitely get a job. That's not a problem. There are lots and lots and lots of opportunities, but you should be able to relocate to any location.
Oh, okay, sir. I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, there are a lot of opportunities across. There are a lot of ways to get jobs. That's a different story. But first of all, you have to practice, and you should be deserving. Then you can desire.
Okay.
All right. Please do practice. You have enough to practice now.
Sure, sir.
All right. Talk to you tomorrow, possibly.